all governments for many years have been trying to improve.
What would you call ridiculous? Give me put me a number on what feels ridiculous.
You had some.
What is the Renters Reform Bill?
It's an extremely divided left and right. Only 21% of landlords are what you would probably class as the slum landlord.
Is this an important bill at the moment in the UK?
So letting agents were no longer allowed to charge tenants any fees at all.
Let's start off by telling me, what is the Renters Reform Bill? Why are we talking about it today?
We're talking about it because it needs a real balanced discussion. I've been managing renting property for 20 plus years, and this whole renters' rights bill, you said the Renters Reform Bill. Now we'll come on to that. It's important to give people balanced opinions. It's an extremely divided left and right kind of bill going through government. I deal with tenants, I deal with landlords. There's two definitions of this. On one side, it's another way to crucify landlords, and on the other side, it's a way to give tenants more rights, hence the change of name to Renters' Rights Bill. It started with a Conservative government. I think it's 2019 they first brought it in, called the Renters Reform Bill. That had legs because it was to reform probably quite an outdated industry. Conservatives shelved it with the elections coming up, maybe to try and win more votes. Who knows? Let's not go into politics. Labour picked it up, and immediately, this is where I think more of a divide's come. They've renamed it the Renters' Rights Bill, and it's becoming, the general consensus is why I want to talk about both sides of it. It's becoming one-sided, all about the tenants' rights, and those landlords haven't got a say in it. But let's get into it.
Why has this come about now? Do you feel as though there is been an ongoing unsolved issue when it comes to renters' rights and the whole rental market? Does this feel like something that is really needed? Is this government, I know you mentioned the history there and the sort of Tory government putting it forward and then taking it away again. Is this an important bill at the moment in the UK? Is this an area that, as someone who's worked in the sector for many, many years, you look at it and think, yes, this needs reform, now is the time?
Yes and no. There's many things that need improving and changing. I'm all for tenants having better protections, better quality housing. You know, that's the crux of it. Slum landlords not being able to profit from substandard properties, which happens a lot. But something really interesting, the government papers and all of this discovered that only 21% of landlords are what you would probably class as the slum landlord. You know, there's been media attention galore over the years about slum landlords. And
what does that mean in like layman's terms? So like, I kind of know the term slum landlord. I've heard that a lot. But like, what's that actually look like?
Shall we say substandard? So packing in 5 people into a 1-bed flat and that being okay. I mean, you know, that's breaking occupancy laws anyway, but only 21%. So the problem, my biggest problem with this is that it's negatively affecting the majority because of the minority. And if we go all the way back, you know, let's not forget that the government, rightly or wrongly so, have been trying to protect tenants more. One of the big ones, I think it was 2018, 2019 maybe, the tenant fee ban. So letting agents were no longer allowed to charge tenants any fees at all.
I remember that changing. Yeah, I remember.
I
remember having estate agents where we would get this, like, at the time I didn't like that. It just, you just charged me for the sake of charging me. And I remember renting a place and then that just disappearing completely.
Yeah, and
thinking,
again,
oh, that was nice.
Both sides, you probably did pay for it in the long run because landlords are going to, what we as letting agents couldn't charge the tenant, we're going to have to charge the landlord. And so whatever the landlord pays for, the tenant pays for at the end of it anyway. So, but it happened, it was fine. The industry adapted to it. Yes, I do agree that many letting agents were charging tenants ridiculous fees. I believe there should have been more.
What would you call ridiculous? Give me put me a number on what feels ridiculous.
You had a tenancy admin fee. Like, what even is that thing? It was like 600 quid. It should have been 50, 75.
Yeah.
It was just licensed for letting unscrupulous letting agents to print money. What should have been happening is there should have probably been a cap in tenant fees. You know, yes, you have to be referenced, so it's £25 per person for the cost of the referencing. But that's all gone now anyway, so let's not dwell on that. Okay. But I think it's been an ongoing thing where all governments for many years have been trying to improve the private rented sector, because there's private rented and then there's council stroke social housing. And big thing we'll come on to is those lines are being blurred now. There's probably going to be no such thing as a private landlord.